Hi guys, welcome to the Lux Conversations with Ololade. And of course, this is your favorite girl, Ololade. And if I'm not your favorite girl, well, I am now. Okay, so I did not record last week because a lot was happening. It's not an excuse, really, because as much as things happen, I always want to be consistent. At least that's what this whole thing is for me. Trying to be consistent as something that I really want to do. Yeah, but it just happened like that. I will do better going forward. And yes, so what has been going on with me? What has been going on with me? I think in the past couple of days, like a week and some days, I officially, I already rounded up since, but like officially now, wore the gown and rounded up my master's program. Yay! Clap, 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 clap. Okay. So, yeah, it was a really long journey, guys. It was long. I think most schools in Nigeria, masters usually takes a year, at most. At least I know of Unilag because that's where I did my um BSc program, right? It usually takes at most a year. But oh well, the masters and me I went to carry my head and do wasn't a year. In short, when I was going in for the program, we were informed there was going to be 18 months because we were going to have, you know, lab trainings and all of that. But eventually it exceeded, how would I put it now? It spanned even more than the 18 months that we were told, and we eventually spent 24 months and even some extra jara on top. So say 2 years, sha. So it was really long. It was really long. And I mean, it was worthwhile thinking about it now. It was a worthwhile experience. I'm glad that I actually took that leap of faith when I did. I'm glad that I wasn't held down by fear and because trust me, so at the beginning, and really that's what this podcast episode is about. I'm sharing my experience, just summarizing it really, because if I want to talk about it, right, the way I should talk about it, will not finish. This episode will not finish, but I don't want it to be too long. So at the beginning of this whole thing, it wasn't that I set out to go to a private university. I'd never even thought about it in my entire life, like, coming from being lag and all of that. What was on my mind was, traveling out to do a master's. Honestly, I actually attempted to. It's not even attempted. I did apply. I did all the. I did all the application and all of that, but it did not just work out. Sadly, the Canadian guys served me breakfast. It didn't work out, and I just kind of lost interest at that time. Made up my mind that if I was ever going to apply, like for a study visa again in my life, I would be 100% sure that I have a good chance, or better still, apply for another type of visa that doesn't have to be a study visa. So that was it for me. And so I knew that I wanted to do a master's, and I think I was even looking at, trying out Unilag again, even though I remember clearly that after my BSme, I was very determined though that one of the first things I said was that, I'm never doing book again. I don't like book because, truth be told, people don't believe me, but I really do not like book like that. Please, it's so stressful. But you get it, and I remember that I was like, I'm never going to read anything again. Da, 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 da. Then eventually I started saying, even if I'm going to do a master's, I'm not coming back to Unilag. But then it was not looking like my only option as far. I don't really want to leave Lagos. And I didn't just think of checking other places. But well, as fate to have it, I guess God had other plans for me regarding that. And somehow a friend introduced me or sent a link to me to Redeemers University and showed me about how they had a lab, a very good lab. And it wasn't just fake fake news. It was actually really true, like going there and all of that. I mean, the lab is pretty standard, you know. And prior to that, I'd already been in one, what's it called? Like a form of webinar where someone that was doing his PhD there at the time, spoke about the lab, and I was really intrigued. Like, oh, in Nigeria, that's interesting, right? Like a lab like that in Nigeria, like they do pretty cool stuff. They do all these like diseases that are in the sounds so they work on infectious diseases mostly, and so your work we have a lot of work on malaria, COVID, Lassa fever. I mean, all of those hot subjects that just seem to make sense, right? And so I was really interested in the thing, and I applied. And well, I did all the interview thing. I did interview the everything I needed to do. I wasn't really expecting they would call me, to be honest. In my mind, I was like, oh, they feel no call me, but they did, and I was shocked. Anyways, it wasn't an easy thing for me, trust me, because I was working at the point, but oh well, I resigned from my job at that time and went all the way to Ocean State. It was a lot, you guys. I remember getting to Ocean State and oh, see, it's a long story. I was almost homeless. I was almost homeless. Like there was no hostel space for me. Because maybe they were not expecting so many postgraduate students or something. I don't know. Anyways, I should have figured it out. Accommodation, all of that, like that. And to the main masters itself now. Hey Jesus. I remember my first class. That's like the first class I ever had. I had to ask myself, like, are you sure you want to do this? Bearing in mind that when I was even leaving Lagos and thinking of leaving Lagos, I was already wondering, will I be able to read book? Can my head actually contain book? Am I sure that I will know book? I don't know why I had all those fears and thoughts, but I did. And then the first class kind of now solidified my fear, like, hey, what's this? It was I was lost. I was lost. I wanted to ask if I was in the right place. Like, is this for me? Or like is there a mistake that I don't know about? I'm sure I was even dozing at the point in that class. I was like, I can't come and waste money, as I think Redeemer's Masters is actually one of the cheapest, like for a private university. But I mean, it's still a lot of money, regardless of us still. So I didn't want to waste all of that money. Oh well, I persevered, though, my brothers and sisters. I persevered, attended classes. And I remember that we used to do a lot of presentations, assignments, writing of term papers. And I'm like, on top of this same masters, I did so many courses, which was so strange to me. Because where I was coming from, I remember that, and I used to say it a lot out of anger, that where I'm coming from, my 400 level, I remember that I think in my last semester in Unilag, I did maybe 4 courses. I was just chilling, living my life, La Vida Local, reading. I had so much time to dedicate to those courses because they were not a lot. So why am I coming to do masters and I'm doing 8 courses in a semester? Like you guys, I feel old. I'm already old. Why am I reading for 8 courses? It was a lot. It was a whole lot. And I remember that the exams as well was not beans. Yo. So we used to write exams every day, and it was strange to me. It was a shock to me because where I was coming from, we used to spread our exams. I don't know if it's still the same in Unilag now, but when I was there, we actually used to spread exams. I remember that during exam season, I can have a paper today, and my next paper will be like in the next 2 days. So please tell me why I was writing exams every day. So that means after one paper, I'm going to. Anyways, it was just everything was a shock to me. I can't lie. I wasn't expecting that I would need to put in so much work because I felt like it was a master's. Maybe my expectations too sharp were not, because I really do not know what any other masters is like in any other school. It was just what I experienced. And me, what I was expecting was not that, wasn't supposed to be that serious. I used to ask, like, why are people taking this thing? Why are you people making life so difficult? But at the end of the day, I'm really grateful for all of it, to be honest, because I learned a whole lot, right? I learned a whole lot. I gain clarity on so many things. Like, oh, if I ever want to, do this science thing, where would I like to pursue? Like, what field would I like to go into? What do I like? What do I not like? Actually learned all of that and even more. Right. Yeah, so I'm happy that I did it. And this is like a form of call to you. If there's anything that you've been wanting to do, something that you know that would actually, add value to your life. If there is anything, it doesn't have to be a master's, it doesn't have to be something educational, to be honest. It just be maybe a skill that you want to learn. Well, still a form of learning. Honestly, go for it. I understand so well the fear that can come with wanting to start something new. Because trust me, I was scared to I was scared. I was scared. I was scared of not doing something that I wasn't going to be good at because I thought I wasn't going to be good enough. I was scared of going to a new place that I didn't really know anybody and trying to, it was just a whole lot. Maybe some were even unfounded, but I had them. And so it's understandable if you also have fears doing anything. But then this is my friendly advice because you're my friend. Just do it. Just do it. Do it afraid. Do it scared. Because if you do it, time will pass. And if you don't do it, time will still pass. But then at least if you do it, you would know what would happen. You'd be able to know the result of it eventually. But if you don't, well, you would never know. You would never know whether that's the one thing that would have changed your life. You would not know. So just do it. Yeah, and so my graduation was a few days ago. I was really excited. I was really happy. And this is because, well, I didn't really have I did not celebrate, or I wasn't around for my BSc convocation because I was, in Plateau State at that time for NYC. I remember that was the last day of NYC camp, and I was seeing pictures, but then I was in Jos. I couldn't come to Lagos, and because I actually really wanted that convocation. I wanted it because I'd been seeing people do it over the last 4 years. But oh well. I remember that I already had my graduation gown, my dress, my shoes. But as to strike stroke. That's one thing about federal schools, you guys. Like, everything is depend. I don't think everything is dependent on ASU, but it feels like that. Like ASU just comes and or everything changes. They had to postpone my convocation, and by the time it was now time for the convocation, I mean the date was already clashing with like NYC camp and all. Anyways, so I think my master's convocation was for me like a form of saying one thing, like my first time, wearing the gown with all my colleagues, sitting in the hall through all those boring lectures. Because trust me, it was very boring. And afterwards, going to the canopy, sharing food, and just doing all of that. It was nice. To be honest, I was really happy. I was extremely happy, and to to make it all even more sweeter, I don't know if that's to make it very sweet, Sha. I was really happy with my results, guys. It wasn't what I was expecting at all. I mean, I know that I put in so much work. I actually put in so much work thinking about it now. I would have probably not said this during the whole program, but thinking about it, looking back, I know that I put in so much work. But then for some reason, I really do not know why. I wasn't just still expecting that, oh, it was going to count for any. I don't know. I really don't know. And so when I learned that I actually had a good grade, or I mean, masters, they don't do CGPA or anything, just have distinction, PhD grade, and I think pass. I think, yeah. So imagine my shock when I learned that I finished with a distinction. Me, I was shocked though because I wasn't really expecting it, and it just made me think about that. Imagine you did not do this masters, well, you would have never known much. You would have finished with. So it goes back again to my friendly advice that I gave earlier. Whatever you think that you want to do, whatever you have in your heart to do that you know will add value to your life, my brothers, my sisters, my uncles, my aunties, and mommies and daddies, just do it, guys. Do it. I'm glad I did my masters. I do not. regret it at all. I'm I'm excited for the future, even though it might be like I feel that there'll be a lot of more work, but it's fine. I'm also still excited for that. I hope that you like this would encourage you as well to do something that you've always really wanted to do. And hopefully, when you even now do that, you could even share with me and tell me, oh, I eventually did this thing, and this was, the result of what I did. And trust me, if it doesn't work out, that's fine. At least you tried. If you listen to this point, if you listen to this point, I am so grateful. I am thankful for the gift of your time. I do not take it for granted. And I'm really hopeful that you would, come back again and listen to more episodes that I put out. And I hope that every episode that I put out will continue to encourage you to do, to just live your life and have a good life. Okay. Okay, guys. I'm really I think I've come to the end of this episode. Thank you again for listening and see you on my next episode. Bye.